Hey, what's going on YouTube? First of all, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody who had a good holiday today. Me and my family, we had a good holiday, had a good meal together, was able to talk and reflect. But today, I want to share with you, I talked about strategy last time, that was about 2 weeks ago. Apologize for not keeping up, but I had to do some homework for school, but I want to get back on it and get that wheel back turning. So I talked about strategy last week, a couple weeks ago. So now I want to talk to you about execution. This is one of the things that you really want to have as an individual is once you make a strategy to be able to execute that strategy and not veer from it. So I got 4 points that I want to talk to you about. First one is, are you good at executing a strategy? So once you make a strategy, are you good at executing, like sticking to the strategy from A to C? I want to go to the grocery store. I want to get 5 items. I want to check out, go back home. A simple strategy. Go in the grocery store, get your 5 items, check out, go back home. Can you go into the store and execute that? Or will you veer from the 5 items and say, yeah, man, I really want some Oreos too. Oh man, I really need to get these cookies from the bakery. Now you veered from the 5 items. Now you got about 7 to 8 items, but that wasn't the strategy that was developed before you left and got to the grocery store. So that laser focus that you got to have to execute that strategy is really something that's a skill that you can really develop over time and really make you that much of an asset to yourself, to your family, whoever else is around you. So that's something you really want to think about. Another point is, I want to make an analogy. You watch a football game, basketball game, any sport, especially football, because there's so many people on the field. It's almost like, think 12 on 12, something like that. Always watch the teams that are successful. They have a good strategy, a good game plan, and they execute that strategy. You look at like Bill Belichick. That's one of my favorite coaches, Bill Belichick. He executes his strategy. A bend but don't break defense, an offense that don't do nothing crazy. Take what the defense give you, take your time, be methodical, score the ball. They stick to the strategy, and always probably toward the middle or the end of the season, they really start rising above the ranks because they sticking to the strategy, the Patriot way. And if you do that in life, if you develop a strategy with anything that you do, it will make things that much better. Like if you get a job, what's the strategy with this job? Are you planning on being here for 10 years, 5 years, 2 years? What's the strategy of you taking this job that you're taking? Going to school, the degree plan you have. What's the strategy of this degree plan after you get the degree? Even when you go to school, sticking with your degree plan, even when things get challenging, still will make you that much better because you're sticking to the strategy. And a lot of times, when you execute that strategy, you feel more relieved at the end because it was everything that you marked down, everything that you put into the strategy was executed. And usually you win, you get the win out of it. So that's one of the things you can think about. Are you good at executing a strategy? Second point is, what are some of the techniques you use to execute? Some people, they use laser focus. Some people, they have a checklist. Some people, they're real good at doing homework, like in school, real good at doing homework. Some people real good at taking notes, outlines. Techniques are real great to get stuff done. Understand what techniques work for you. Understand how to use those techniques to really execute your game plan. And don't be afraid to learn new techniques. There's nothing wrong with having techniques because they always told you in football, when you get tired, when you learn good techniques, when you get tired, the technique will pull you through and get you to the end. And that's why you see like defensive ends, they get like dog tired, but they're so used to doing a swim move and getting through the offensive line, the technique of them using their hands and their body, even when their brain is tired, the technique is subconsciously in there. And you bring that to the real world, the technique of you doing your homework, the technique of you having a checklist on how to pay your bills, a system that you develop to budget your money. You stick to that checklist even when the days you don't feel like it, but the technique of balancing that checkbook, the technique of spending that money right, the technique of grocery shopping right, the technique of just doing stuff in life, you learn those techniques. It'll help you master things, and you can take on new things because you have the techniques of the other things. So always understand that. My next topic, topic number 3, are you able to be flexible while still executing your strategy? Because we all know with life, there are always surprises, things always happen, and you can't let that throw you off. Life is not easy. Things pop up. You can make a plan. I'm going to save this amount of money. I'm going to do this. Next thing you know, the tire blow out. Now I got to get the tire fixed. You can still save the money and always understand, like, from point A to point B, there's going to be stuff in the middle that you can't account for because we're not mind readers. We don't know, but you can still stick to the strategy. Just understand that was just a little bump in the road. So don't let things throw you off. Always be flexible. You don't want to be like Monk, a big OCD person that things throw you off and now, you throw the whole strategy away or plan away. No, just look at that as that's just part of life. Things happen. Being able to be flexible and adapt with change while still executing your plan is always will make you that much more a universally adaptable person and make you that much more a better person to execute because things happen. Some things you just can't account for, and it just comes with life. We can't see everything, but you can kind of plan for it. And you live long enough, you can kind of get, you're not like I guess, but you can understand when you plan something, there's always going to be some things that pop up that you can't account for. But being able to still execute it, the strategy will still make you that much better because you be like, okay, I know this popped up, but I still got a strategy. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to take care of what I need to take care of and get back to the strategy. So don't give up on your strategy when you make one. Just keep executing. Keep getting better at it. The 4th topic is what are some of the things that slow down execution? I know for me, like say procrastination, sometimes you get tired, you just don't feel like doing it. Same thing under procrastination, distractions. You were supposed to be doing this. Next thing you know, you're looking at YouTube. You go down that rabbit hole of social media. Sometimes life, scheduling, things of that nature. We all have things we do, we're scheduled to do. And sometimes that could throw you off. You can say, hey, I was going to cut the grass today in my house, but man, something popped up at school or at work. I had to go knock this out at work, so I got to push that off to another day. But I want to get this done the day after or something like that. So something, can slow you down, and be honest with yourself. Don't try to rationalize in your head where, I would have got this done if I would have did this, and you was procrastinating. Because sometimes we as humans, I know I've done it. You try to, rationalize, if I really would have executed this, if I would have did this, or this would have happened. But to yourself, you really was procrastinating because sometimes you have time to do it ahead of time, but then you push it out to the last minute and then something happens. Then you'll say, you might not say it out loud, but in your head you be like, man, if I would have done that 15 minutes earlier when I had the time, I would have had that done and I would have executed that no problem. So always, be honest with yourself. Don't try to rationalize and try to, wiggle your way out of situations or, not be accountable for, how you manage your time to be able to execute your strategy. So my closing topic is, I want to say it's one of the hardest parts of a strategy or game plan is the execution of it. It is relatively easy to develop a strategy, but not easy to execute due to the fact of what is required to execute properly. One thing to think about when you make a strategy is always think about what is it going to take for me to get this done. Am I going to have to cut out some stuff? I'm not going to be able to hang out as much. It may be some people I can't be around. It may be some people that I need to be around. Different things that have to be shuffled, different things that have to be cut out in order to execute the game plan. It's like, say, I bring it back to sports. You know, you playing basketball, you want to be a great three-point shooter. Guess what? You got to go to the gym. You have to get up so many shots a day or so many shots a session. So guess what? In order to do that, it takes time. You may not be able to go to the mall. You may not be able to go hang out with your buddies because you want to be better at shooting the basketball. Same way in the natural life standpoint. You want to cook. You know, it takes time to cook. You want to be better at paying bills. It takes time to sit down, look at your bills, spread it on the table or online, manage your bills, and pay your bills. And understand, you know, I want to pay it at this part of the month. I want to pay it at the bottom half of the month. You have to sit down, settle down, think, and plan, and execute. It's just like, you know, losing weight. I said I wanted to lose weight, get some of this COVID weight off, so I wanted to eat more salads and eat more healthy. But the hardest part is riding by McDonald's and not wanting to get that apple pie, you know, and I have to make myself do that, not go to a McDonald's. But sometimes executing it is the hardest thing because you're like, man, McDonald's not crowded. Let me pull up at McDonald's. Let me go grab an apple pie real quick, knowing that I just said earlier that I need to do better on my eating habits. So that execution, man, you gotta overwrite that emotion sometime and be real logical with it and say, you know what, I am not doing that apple pie. I want to eat right. I'm going to not do it, and I'm going to keep eating my salads, and I'm going to lose weight. And then you start seeing the results. You start being feeling that gratification of executing your plan, and everything starts to fall together. This is Mike. I want to talk to you about that execution, to build on that Lego, what we're talking about, the Legos of life. And thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you for helping me get my subscriber count up, trying to get the subscriber count up. Thank you for your support. I will keep making more content for those who want to hear it, those who want to listen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm signing out.